Hey guys, Avi here, and welcome back to our Python series. In this video, we're going to be continuing our object-oriented programming, but we'll be learning a new concept, and that concept is inheritance. Now, with classes and object-oriented programming, many times you'll have one class that falls underneath another. For example, we might have a class person, and underneath that we might have another class male and female. Or you might have divided it into age sectors, teens, adults, old people, stuff like that. So in inheritance, the concept is that you have a child class and a parent class. And the child class inherits, which means that it gets all the properties and functions of the parent class. Okay? So again, it might be a bit confusing, but let's go ahead and let's create an example parent class. So I'm going to go ahead and say class parent, and I'm going to create an init function, pass in self, and I'm going to go ahead and say print out, this is the parent class, okay? And then I'm going to create a parent function, pass in self, and print, this is the parent function. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit enter. That's our parent class. If I go ahead and create a P object for parent and initialize it, so P is equal to parent, that is fantastic. I immediately get this is the parent class. Awesome. I can go ahead and also call the parent function parent func p.parent func, and I get this is the parent func. Awesome. So that again is just the parent class. We haven't done anything new. Now we're gonna go ahead and create a child class that inherits the parent class. So I'm going to go ahead and say class child. And now to show that one class inherits the other, what you do is after you type the class name, you put in brackets the parent class, which in this case is called parent. So class child of parent. Okay. So we're basically saying that child inherits parent. Now we're going to have our own init function. In itself, print, this is the child class. And now I'm going to go ahead and create a child function. Self print, this is the child function. Okay? Awesome job. So now we have our child class. And our child class has an init method and a child function. Print, this is the child class. Print, this is the child function. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and create a child now. So C is equal to child, and I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and I get this is the child class. I can now call a child function as well, and I get this is the child function. But what happens when you inherit is that you also get all the functions in the parent class. So what I can do now is as a child object, I can call c.parent function, and that will get me this is the parent function. And the reason why this works is because when we create the child object, this child object has the functions of the parent class as well. That's the whole point of inheritance. If you have an overall function, for example, every person eats, every person has an age, every person has a name, all that will go into the person class. But then you have specifics. Maybe you have it divided by age, where the age differs. Maybe you have it by gender, where the gender differs. In that scenario, you have a bunch of functions that can be in the parent class, and then you can change it up in the child classes. So that's inheritance for you. Now, the last thing we'll be learning in this sort of object-oriented programming is overriding methods. If I have a parent class and I have a child class, and both of them have the same functions, how do I tell Python that, hey, I want to use the child function method, not the parent function method? So let's go ahead and understand how to override methods in Python. So I'm going to go ahead and create the new parent function again. Def init, self, I'm just going to go ahead and pass for now. And then I'm going to create, I'm going to call this function test, pass in self, and print just parent for now. Okay, so that's again a simple parent class. And if I create a parent object and call p.test, I get parent. Great. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing with child. Again, let's make sure that we're inheriting the parent. and create the init function as we did before and pass, but I'm also going to create a test function for my child class. So def test self print child. Okay? And now if I create a child object, what do you think is going to happen when I call c.test? Go ahead and run this if you want, but let's go ahead and understand the actual working of overriding methods. I have a parent class. My parent class is a test function. It's supposed to print parent. I have a child class that inherits all of my parent class functions. So I have a test function that's supposed to print parent. However, I reinitialized that test function over here, and now I'm printing out child. In Python, when you reinitialize a function in the child class, that is going to replace the parent function. So this def test self print parent gets replaced by the print child. So c.test gives me child. That's the whole point of overriding the method. If I have a function in my parent class and I want to override in my child class, I just have to reinitialize it, just call it def test self, and then whatever code I put over here will override the code in my parent test function. Alright guys, that's it for this lecture. Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully, object-oriented programming made sense. Again, it's very straightforward, very simple. Just remember there's classes, there's objects, and an object is an instance of a class. Anyways, thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.